This is what happens when you wander on purpose. Hi, I'm Erin, and I'm hiking in Ascot Hills Park today. And this week's theme is freedom and control. Thought that was appropriate since we are celebrating Independence Day, 4th of July this week. So this is a new trail for me, and when I read it, they're like, oh, it's just 2 miles. There's not much incline at all. Yeah, there is. That's a little steep. It keeps going up. I could go down. My car is, that's my car. So I could, but I don't want to do this again. So I'll hike without poles because I have the freedom to make that choice. So the definition of freedom is to be able to think, talk, and act without hindrance or restraint. And I think that last word gets us into trouble because there is restraint. There has to be restraint because if your freedom comes against my freedom, we're gonna have a problem. And if everybody had the freedom to truly do whatever the heck they wanted, we would live in a bit of anarchy. So we have rules. You can't just walk into a crowded place and say fire. And I have the freedom to eat an entire bag of caramel M&Ms, and that is not good because little tidbit, that is 300% of your daily sugar intake. So you have self-control because that is the only type of control that we Americans like, right? Is controlling ourselves. And control is defined as the power to influence or direct people's behavior. So yeah, we don't like other people controlling what we do, even though we are giving up a lot of control, at least control of our privacy probably. And so we have to realize that freedom is not unrestrained, that we do give up some control. And for me, as someone of faith, I give up control to God. And I know that people get all bent out of shape about that in today's world. But really, it's like we give up control to plenty of things. We allow ourselves to follow rules in plenty of things. So why not follow the guidelines of the one who created us, who knows what's best for us, who desires to have us have this wonderful life to then be with him in heaven. That's the only person that we should be giving up control to. I mean, not even myself, because clearly I don't always make the best choices about myself. Thinking again about those M&Ms, which makes me want to go shopping after this hike, reward myself with some more caramel M&Ms. But the guidelines are set in place for a reason, so that we have that structure to enjoy the freedom. And because think about your kids, if they're playing, running everywhere in front yard, backyard, and they could get into danger crossing the street. But if you have them just in the backyard that's fenced in, then they enjoy that freedom to play and do what they want. So as a parent that you do the same thing. So why we can't allow our Heavenly Father that same, I don't get it. So I've realized that most of my focus has been on actions or speech, the freedoms of speech and the freedom to do. But it all stems from, of course, the freedom of thought, because thought is father to the deed. So really, we have freedom to think what we want, to discern the truth. But of course, people think all sorts of things, and that's really the crux of it, that when we, at our core, disagree on things, when at our core we disagree on things, how does that play out in our actions? That we have to be civil. We have to compromise, even though when you get to, your deepest moral convictions, you don't want to compromise those. So it's tricky to live, all 7 billion of us together. But we have to. So we have to find a way to have our freedom and to live together peacefully. And I would say that there's freedom in detachment. Not being worried and caught up in people's opinions of you, people's opinions of a certain thing, feeling like you need to get that next thing, or detaching yourself from material possessions. You know, there's just the levity when you let go of a lot of these trappings in life. And what happens when you say no to things? When you're detached, you're saying no to a lot of things, but then again, that gives you that freedom to say yes to things. So what are you going to say yes to? You know, if you don't have this worry about collecting all the next things and keeping up with the Joneses, then you have freedom to just enjoy what you do have, and fill your life with just those things that have meaning. And even on the really difficult things, you know, if somebody hurts you, if you detach yourself from what other people say how you should react, and even maybe how you initially think you should react, but you do that hard thing, like maybe you forgive the person, but oh man, there's so much freedom in that. I tell you what, to not hold on to that grudge, to not constantly be having that person fill your mind, there's some serious freedom in that. So I suggest, if you need to forgive somebody or any other, you know, thing that's weighing you down, you know, do the cost-benefit analysis. What is it costing you to hold on to something, and what is the benefit? What is the freedom to give up? That is something to celebrate this 4th of July.